France and Italy both reticent now to sign the deal, and that has visibly frustrated President Lula of Brazil. Here's a little of what it is he's had to say.
Now I'm finding out they won't be able to approve the agreement. It's difficult because Italy and France don't want to do it due to internal political problems. I've already warned them, if they don't sign now, Brazil will not sign any more agreements while I am president. We've been waiting for this agreement for 26 years. And this agreement is more favourable for them than for us.
Well, let's get the Brazilian view on this story then. Tom Vickery with us live now. He's in Rio de Janeiro. Tim, how big a blow for President Lula would a potential delay to the signing be?
Well, you could hear the frustration in his voice yesterday because at the start of the week, Brazil were hopeful. The key thing has been the position of Italy that they weren't counting on. And as we've just been hearing, Italy there really is the tipping point. President Lula yesterday, the opposition from France, that's all predictable. So he says France are not in agreement because of their farmers. Italy are not in agreement. I don't know why. So there's real frustration there. And he's come up with this ultimatum. I wouldn't take that entirely literally. I think there's still some wiggle room there, especially as Meloni there of Italy is saying that she thinks there would be the conditions to sign this deal early next year. So more patience being called for from Brazil. But remember, the Asian market is a huge market for South America. Brazil, which is the powerhouse really of Mercosur, but by far the dominant force. This year, Brazil sold twice as much to China as it did to the European Union. So this will, if this doesn't go through, it's a frustration and a blow, but it will just intensify the efforts that Brazil have been making to do deals with Asia.
But if we stay on the Mercosur deal, Tim, this has been about 25 years in the making, hasn't it? And if it is signed, it is going to create the world's largest free trade area, something like 700 million people within it. Surely that would bring about significant changes in Brazil.
Yes, it would, not least because the deal with China, the trade with China, it's a lot of raw materials, it's a lot of commodities. And it's the agricultural produce which is proving the problem now with the European Union. But Brazil, over the last 30 years, has been through a drastic, violent process of deindustrialization. What Brazil would love is access to export markets for products of aggregated value, higher up the chain in terms of quality jobs and so on. And so this is an important deal. Although the weight of exports would be less than those to China, the quality of those exports and the amount of jobs that you could create with those exports is very, very interesting from a Brazilian point of view. So I think that when Lula says if the deal doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen when I'm president, I think that's something which is not a hardline position. There may still be some wiggle room for negotiations early next year.
All right, Tom Vickery talking to us from Rio de Janeiro, as always.